Om Shanti. डबल फॉरेनर्स को बाप दादा और हम सबकी डबल याद.
So double remembrance, Bap Dada's and mine, to the double foreigners.
अभी हमने एक गीत सुना.
We just heard this song.
उस गीत में था.
In the song it was said,
हमारे तकदीर की तस्वीर बनाने वाले,
that the one who is creating the picture of our fortune, the heart desires to remember you.
कि हमारी तकदीर की तस्वीर,
So
बाबा ने कितनी ऊंची बनाई.
I was observing that Baba's created such a beautiful picture of our fortune.
तकदीर
How elevated
बाबा
is
ने
is
हमारी
that
बनाई
picture?
है. लेकिन बाबा ने कहा था,
Baba has created the picture, but Baba
मैंने तुम्हारे
had
हाथ
also
में
said that
तकदीर खींचने का कलम दिया है.
that I've given you the pen with which to draw your line of fortune.
जितनी लंबी आपको खींचनी है,
As long as you want to stretch that line, as long as you desire it, you can draw that line of fortune.
आपके हाथ में
And so,
वो तकदीर की तस्वीर खींचने का कलम है.
what is the pen with which to draw the picture of your fortune? Do all of you have the pen? You've not lost it, have you?
वो कलम है. बाबा ने कहा,
That pen is
श्रेष्ठ कर्म का ही कलम.
the pen of elevated action.
अगर श्रेष्ठ कर्म का कलम आपके हाथ में बाबा
If
ने
you,
दिया है,
if you hold the pen of elevated action in your hand, because Baba has taught us the deep secrets of action, sinful action, elevated action. And so Baba has said that knowledge is light and knowledge is might. And so Baba has given Baba has given us this pen of light and might with which to perform elevated action. And to the extent that we want to draw this picture, we can draw it. So we are creating it. From the moment we became a Brahma Kumar or Kumari, you have been creating, painting that picture. But what type of picture are you painting? Yes, Baba awakened our fortune. From the moment we came to Baba, since the moment we came to Baba, how elevated has our fortune become. Yes, we became Brahma Kumars and Kumaris. We call Brahma the world creator. And so we've become his children. And together with him we have Shiv Baba, the one who is highest on high. There's no one higher than him. So by becoming the children of the highest on high, then of course our line of fortune is equally elevated. So long is our fortune that it's a guarantee for 21 births. Baba has drawn the line of our fortune, drawn the picture of our fortune for 21 generations. If you continue to draw that line with the knowledge of the karma that Baba has given to us, then for 21 births, there won't be any name or trace of any sorrow or unhappiness, any sorrow or peacelessness.
सारे कल्प में और कोई नहीं बना सकता।
No one can draw this line of fortune for
चाहे
us
कितने भी
like Baba does,
ऋषि हो,
no
महान
matter how
ऋषि हो,
great a soul, a
लेकिन वो
saint
क्या
may
बताएंगे?
be.
4-6 जन्म का आगे
What
पीछे
will he
कुछ
be
न
able
कुछ
to
सुना देंगे।
tell us? Just maybe of our
और
past
वो भी
2
गारंटी
or
नहीं।
future 2 to 4 births, but even that is not a
लेकिन
guarantee.
परमात्मा हमारे तकदीर की
But
तस्वीर
the
खींच
Supreme
रहा
Soul
है,
is drawing the line
तो
of our
परमात्मा को
fortune.
गॉड को कहा ही जाता है,
And so
गॉड इज
God is called the truth. Truth is known to be
भगवान ही
God.
सत्य है।
God is the truthful
जब
one.
भगवान ही सत्य है,
So if God is the
तो
truth,
जो वो कर्म करेगा वो भी सत्य
and so
होगा।
whatever action he performs will be
इसीलिए
truth,
बाबा कहते भी
will
है
be that of
हमको
truth.
मुरली में,
And that's why Baba
तो
tells us
तुम
in the Murlis,
सिर्फ बाप नहीं कहो,
don't simply
सत
say
बाप,
Father,
सत शिक्षक,
say the
सत
true
गुरु।
Father, the true teacher, the true
क्योंकि
Guru,
गुरु तो बहुत है,
because there are many
लेकिन
Gurus,
सतगुरु एक ही।
but there is only one true Guru,
तो
the
हमें
Sat Guru.
कितना नशा होना
And so we
चाहिए
should have so much intoxication
कि गारंटी है
that it's a
21
guarantee
जन्म हमारा
for
तकदीर
21
श्रेष्ठ श्रेष्ठ
births
रहेगी।
that our fortune will be the most
गारंटी है ना,
elevated of all.
हमारे को
Do we not
भगवान
have
ने
this
गारंटी दी
guarantee?
है,
God is giving us
और
this
भगवान से
guarantee.
ऊपर कौन
And
होगा
so then who is
जिसकी
beyond God,
गारंटी पक्की होगी?
whose guarantee we can appreciate?
तो हमें नशा और खुशी होनी
And so we
चाहिए।
should have happiness and
सिर्फ
intoxication,
कलम हमारा तेरा बांध का तकदीर की तस्वीर खींचने में नहीं हो।
that we should not
हम
delay in
कर्म तो
drawing
करते ही है, कर्म के
that
बिना
line of
तो रह ही नहीं
fortune.
सकते।
Yes, we can't stay without
बाबा ने कहा
performing
चलो
action.
कोई निर्विल तो होके बैठ भी जाए, बैठना भी
Yes, we
तो कर्म
might
है।
sit by becoming completely
आंख तो
detached from
हिलाएंगे या
everything,
आंख
but
नहीं
even when you
हिलेगी,
sit,
चलो
even your
बंद
eyes
करके
will
बैठ
move.
जाओ।
Yes, you might even sit with
बंद
your eyes
करना भी तो
closed,
आंख का कर्म
but
है,
even to close your eyes is an action
बिना
of the
कर्म
body.
के तो रह ही नहीं
You cannot
सकते।
stay without performing action.
जब कर्म इंद्रियों का आधार लिया
So
है,
if we've taken the
तो
support of
कर्म
these
के
sense
बिना तो
organs,
हम रह ही नहीं
then we
सकते।
cannot refrain from
लेकिन कौन
performing
सी
action.
कर्म है,
And so what actions,
वो हमको अपने आप को ही चेक करना है।
so what actions should we be performing? This is what we
इतनी
need to
तकदीर
check.
की तस्वीर हमारी कितनी बढ़िया भगवान ने खींची
And
है।
so God is actually drawing
उस
the picture
तकदीर
of
की
my
तस्वीर
fortune,
को देख देख के ही खुशी होती है।
and just seeing that fortune again and again
और
brings so much
हमारे
happiness.
लिए बहुत इजी है।
And it's very easy for us.
अच्छा, हम 21 जन्म क्या हमारी तकदीर की तस्वीर है?
What is
वो भी
our
बाबा ने
picture
बता दिया
of
है
fortune for
कि
the
तुम
21
फरिश्ता
births?
सो
What is
देवता
it?
बनेंगे।
It is, Baba said, we will become from
चलो
angels to
फॉरेन
deities.
में मंदिर नहीं है,
Okay, in foreign
लेकिन
lands there are
देवता
no
क्या है
temples,
जिनके मंदिर आजकल भी है।
but the
हम तो
deities
यही
whose
देखते हैं
temples are
कि हम
created
बने संगम पर,
in this day and age.
और संगम तक सारा कल्प के
So
बाद
just
संगम
imagine
युग
that we
के
are seeing those
लास्ट
temples today,
जन्म में
and
हम
yet
अपनी
we have
तस्वीर देखेंगे।
made our effort the last
हमें याद
confluence
है
age. So the effort from
ब्रह्मा
last
बाबा के साथ
confluence
जब
age
हम
still
आबू में आए
remains now
पहले पहले,
as our images in the
तो
temples.
आबू में इतनी रश नहीं होती थी।
When we came to
सिर्फ
Abu,
भील लोग,
there wasn't
यहाँ
so
के
much
रहने वाले
of
जो
a
भील
rush
लोग थे, ये नहीं
in the beginning.
बहुत घटिया प्रकार के लोग
The
थे,
locals, the
वो भी
aboriginals,
थोड़े से थे।
were very few at the
ये
time.
सीजन वगैरह जो आते हैं गेस्ट बन
Even
करके
the
अभी सीजन
season
में,
to
वो
invite
नहीं थे,
guests did
थोड़े
not
से थे
exist
ही
at that time. Even there wasn't a tourist season
और
at
ये
that
नकी
time.
लेक भी इतनी बनी हुई नहीं थी,
Even
एक
Nucky
किनारा
Lake
सिर्फ
was
बना हुआ
not
था।
so beautiful.
तो
There was
हम
only a
जब
part of
आए
it that
थे
was
तो उन
created.
दिनों में ब्रह्मा बाबा के साथ हम
And so
बहुत
in
पैदल
the
चक्कर
early
लगाए।
days, we used to walk
ये जो
around a
पहाड़ियाँ
lot
हैं ना
with
ऊंची
Brahma
ऊंची,
Baba. We used to
उसमें भी
climb on
ब्रह्मा
those
बाबा के
high
साथ हम
rocks
गए हैं।
onto the mountains with Brahma
बाबा
Baba.
को बहुत वो रुचि होती
And
थी
Baba
बच्चों
had a
को
lot of
घुमाने की,
excitement to
जहाँ
take
तहाँ
the
बाबा
children everywhere.
साथ ले चलता
Baba
था।
would take us all
इतने
everywhere with
तक
him.
जो हम ऊपर से नीचे पैदल गए,
We've even gone from up
बाबा के
to
साथ।
down below the
और आप
bottom of the
सोचो
mountain
बाबा के
with
साथ जब
Baba.
गए होंगे तो बाबा ने रास्ते में कितना बहलाया होगा।
And so if we went with Baba, he must have entertained us so much. We had a gramophone with us. We had some records with us. And so when we used to get tired walking, then Baba would stand. He would, we would have a picnic, we would dance, play the records. Yes, it's all jungle everywhere. At the moment, it's still better than what it was. In those days, it wasn't so green, it was more dry. And so, Baba took us once walking from the top to the bottom, and we stayed in a school 2 nights, and then we came up walking again. And so Baba used to go everywhere. Even if you know the Dilwala temple, then we went there with Baba. We even went walking with Baba to Achalgarh, another tourist spot at the top. Baba is very tall, as you must have noticed from the pictures. So yes, Baba had long legs. So he was very fast in walking. On purpose, he would say, "Children, you go in front. I'm the backbone. I will observe from the back to see how each one is walking. You walk in front of me." So we started walking in front, and Baba would be behind us. And then what would he do in the middle? Then he'd pick up his speed and start walking fast. We used to walk very slowly, but then he started walking fast, and then he would go in front of us, stand, and then ask, is every child okay? You're not tired, are you? And he would give us drishti. So Baba came with us to the Dilwara temple, and he saw the murtis, the images, the idols there. And Baba used to say, who are these? Who are these images? So here you're seeing those images in the corporeal form, that was the children, and then the images in stone. And so Baba said, I'm also seeing my own picture. The Dilwala means the one with the heart, the comforter of heart. Even looking at the temple of Krishna, Baba used to say, look, I'm going to become like this little Krishna. And so upon seeing these images, Baba used to be very happy. And then we also used to get intoxicated that, wow, these are our pictures, these are our images. Because there's a yogi in each alcove. So Baba used to say, you go and check which one is your image. Go and book your own alcove. So he used to make us laugh and entertain us. He was very humorous. So I say, look, even at the end of the 84 births, there are so many temples to our images. So here in practical form, we are looking at those non-physical images. Baba said that you may not have ever seen your tomb. Look at Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi. He's not going to come and see his tomb, is he? But you're seeing your own remembrance of before, that I'm the living and that's the non-living. And so how elevated has Baba created our fortune. We are so happy, aren't we? So I'd just like to add to the last point, it's not just a tomb but a memorial of somebody who's passed away. So we are seeing our own memorials of the last cycle. So all of you continue to look at your line of fortune, your picture of fortune, that this is what I'm going to become. God has given us this blessing. God is creating our picture of fortune. Brahma Baba used to remember the small form, the child form of Krishna a lot. Say, for example, Baba would wake up at Amrit Vela, and some sisters used to go and say a special good morning to Baba at Amrit Vela. And after saying good morning, Baba would reply, you might have seen that little gaddi that's created in Baba's room in Pandav Bhavan. When Baba used to sit, he used to put one leg over the other. He used to have a pillow behind and then put one leg over the other. And Baba would say, I continue to see this young form of Krishna in front of me. This body is like a dress. So at the moment, this dress is of somebody old, Brahma Baba, but as I look in front, it's like this other dress is hanging on the hook, and it's like I'm being drawn to wear that dress. So one moment I see this old dress, this body, and tomorrow this other dress. Do you see that dress? He would ask the children, do you see that dress? Well, tomorrow I'm going to go and wear that dress, the dress of Sri Krishna. And so this was completely emerged for Brahma Baba, that this is what I have to go and become. It has to become so clear. We too have to see that I, the Brahmin, am becoming the deity, and then the deity, I, the Brahmin, am becoming the angel, and the angel becomes the deity. It should become so natural. Baba, the doctors tell us to do two things. One is exercise, and secondly, to take precaution with our diet. So Baba too, in order to make the mind completely healthy, because here everything is related to the mind. When do we become tense? In the mind. The tension first comes in the mind. When we have yoga, then it's a pilgrimage of the mind, isn't it? So the mind is the most important thing. This is why Baba says in the Gita, the verse comes a couple of times, Man Manabhav. Baba didn't say Tan Manabhav or Dhan Manabhav, in other words, focus your body or your wealth onto me. No, he said focus your mind onto me. When you have yoga, then it's the mind that you merge in love with Baba, is it not? If your mind does not get attached to Baba, no matter how much you sit, then you don't experience any pleasure. Now, okay, every day, for the last few days, you've been practicing to sit for a couple of hours in meditation. But, okay, you sit for 2 hours in meditation, which is fine, which is good. Yes, you sat for 2 hours. You accepted it as Srimad, and you sat. Yes, you will receive something in return for that. But really ask yourself. Baba always used to say that you said you sat for 2 hours in meditation, but were you a yogi for 2 hours, or were you battling for some time? Were you a yogi or also a warrior, a yodhe? Okay, you might have a few waste thoughts, then what would you call that? you would want to get rid of those, would you not? You have to say to yourself, no, I have to sit in meditation, so I can't think of these things. So that's a bit of a battle, isn't it? That's not yoga. So this is why Baba used to say, only you can check yourself in this respect. Yes, others will say, yes, they sat in meditation. Everybody sat for 2 hours in meditation. No one can check how much you were battling during those 2 hours. The one in front of you cannot check that. Only you can check yourself in this respect. And so if my mind is not in my control, then definitely there will be some battle as well as some yoga as well together. And so Baba would say, there should be so much control over my mind. Just as there is this hand, it's corporeal, mind is subtle. The hand is physical. If I say, okay, I'll lift my hand for as long as I want, I can lift it, can't I? It's within our control, isn't it? We have the controlling power. I can move it up and down. I can dance with it. It's in my hands, isn't it? To that extent, the mind has to be in my control. In the last few murlis, Baba's given us a lot of signals that the speed of time is moving fast. And in the end, if I don't have controlling power of the mind, then you cannot pass with honors. Why? Because at that time, Baba has already described to us the situation. Once when I gave class before, I've explained it, but I'll repeat it again for this group, that Baba has already described to us the situation that will occur at the end. Okay, at the moment the water showed its form, that's not a big deal. The tsunami showed us its splendor, didn't it? But when all 5 elements come together and show us their form, what will be the state then? Just think of it for a moment. On the one hand, the elements, on the other hand, Maya, because Maya will be taking leave, we'll be giving leave to Maya for half a cycle, won't we? Because it started from the Copper Age, and so when the enemy sees that, oh no, this is my end, I don't know if I'm going to win or not, then the enemy uses every single weapon within his means to try to win the battle. So Maya is no less. Maya is going to use every single weapon to harass the mind. And so Baba said, on the one hand it's the elements, on the other hand it's Maya. And on the third side, a lot of untimely death. And so these souls will be wandering. And on the fourth side, all the relatives will be crying out to you. Some will be bleeding, something else will be happening to somebody else. And so the souls that you have been in connection with out of love, they will then pull you. So all 4 will be pulling you. You know, sometimes they show you in the pictures the extreme, the extremity. And so this is what it will be like at the end, the extremity of all these 4 scenes. And so just think about it, how much controlling power we need. If I don't have controlling power in the mind, then how will you be able to pass? Will you? And so Baba said in the last Murli, he gave a special signal that according to the present time, the children need to accumulate the controlling power of the mind. if the mind is not concentrated, if it's mischievous, then within a second we can fail or pass. It's a question of a second. Which will be the question at the end? It's a question of just 1 second. If you passed, you passed, otherwise you fail. Which question did Baba tell us of? Completely detached and embodiment of remembrance, conqueror of attachment and embodiment of remembrance. This is the test of 1 second. This will be the situation at the end. So think about it, how much concentration power the mind needs to have accumulated. And so we need to practice this now. We can practice it now. But as time comes to the end, we won't even have time to make this type of effort. And then Baba said, there is the board of late, but not too late. The board of too late is not hung up yet. Otherwise, it will become too late and then too let. In other words, whoever else wants to take over. And so what's the method?
कंट्रोलिंग पावर आप में तभी आएगी जब अपने को आत्मा मालिक समझेंगे.
You will, when you consider the soul to be the master, then you will accumulate the controlling power. Because if you don't consider yourself a master, then who is going to be in control? Who's the one in control? Look in today's world. Some mothers are very innocent and they have their servants, but their servants are very sharp. The masters are weak, but the servants are very astute, very clever, and so they steal everything. And so the servants become the masters, and the masters become the servers. And so the soul is the master, is it not? No one else. The mind, intellect, and sanskars. Even of the sense organs, who's the master of all this? It's the mind, is it not? So do I experience myself to be the soul? Not just that I keep chanting it like a mantra, I'm a soul, I'm a soul, I'm a soul. We have to experience this. We have to uphold the authority that I am a soul. We say this, that the soul is making this body function. These are the sense organs. This is my kingdom, and these are the servants within the kingdom, and I, the soul, am giving orders to the kingdom. But this awareness has to be constant. The master should have constant awareness. Should a master have just temporary awareness? No, if he's a master for all time. And so, in the same way, I, the soul, am a master. If I don't have this practice, then I cannot control. Even our sense organs will deceive us. Sometimes the eyes, sometimes we'll hear something, sometimes we might hear some frightening sound. So even the ears can deceive us. And so this is why Baba says, become soul conscious. Know the difference between soul conscious and body conscious. This is the first chapter. All of you who took the course, what were you taught? That you are a soul. And so I am a soul. I understand this and emerge it, not in a merged way that I'm a soul. No, emerge. As a master, I can emerge this consciousness that I am the soul, and then my sense organs will be within my control, even in a subtle way or even in a gross way. Yes, not that you say, well, I'm a soul, I know I'm a soul, but then you should have the experience of what it means to be a soul. Just as in the body I say, yes, I'm so-and-so. I say, well, I'm no less, I'm somebody. This is a body consciousness we have, don't we? It's in an emerged form, is it not? And so in the same way, I need to reaffirm this consciousness that I am a soul. Okay, at Amrit Vela, I get up and yes, the consciousness of the soul and Baba is very firm, but then as soon as I get into action, I become action conscious. Okay, I may not be body conscious, but I'm not soul conscious either. And I've become action conscious. Whatever action I'm doing, I've become merged in love of that action. But that's not soul consciousness, is it? That becomes action consciousness. And Baba's told us to stay stable in soul consciousness. Then the sense organs will obey your orders. Nobody can obey your orders if you don't have the authority of a master. I remember when Indira Gandhi was a prime minister, and she had come off her seat for a little while because she'd lost, her party had lost for some time. And so every year, we used to go tie Rakhi to her as well as other ministers and officers. Why? Because they give us time easily during those days. Otherwise, they play with us a lot and say, oh, we're very busy. But during the day of Rakhi, they give us time very easily. And that's why we used to go and tie Rakhi. So Indira Gandhi was not on her seat. So we didn't say, okay, she's not in power now, so we're not going to tie Rakhi. We said, no, she's a soul, and so we've been tying Rakhi, so we will go and tie Rakhi to her. But during this time, she did have a house, but she had a very small house. It wasn't that big house that she had when she was in power. And so she was living in this small house, and there was a difference on her face. It's like she had absolutely no power left. She said, yeah, everything's okay, what to do, this is my situation, I don't know how long. It was like she didn't have any breath in her life. The sparkle of the Prime Minister Indira Gandhi had disappeared. So who's going to listen to her order when she cannot look after herself? If she orders anyone, who's going to listen to her? Will the country listen to her if she's not on her seat, if she doesn't feel in power? And so if the soul is not set on its seat, then none of the sense organs will listen. Not at all. They will oppose you. On the other hand, in contrast, they will oppose you. Even things that you did not think of before will emerge. So this is why Baba says, become soul conscious. Baba says, remember me, but first, he says, think yourself to be a soul, and then remember I, the Father. First he says, think yourself to be a soul, and then remember the Father. Because if I cannot stabilize in I, the soul, then I can't remember the Father, because the Father is the Father of the soul, not of the body. So first I have to think of myself as a soul, and then I will automatically remember the Supreme Soul. And this is why this part of the soul, the consciousness of the soul, has to be very firm. You must have noticed that in Madhuban, every hour there's a song played. I don't know what happens here in Gyan Sarovar, but in Shantivan, every hour there's a tune played on the hour. Every hour. we need to have
आप
that
कहेंगे,
checking.
इसके लिए घड़ी पहननी पड़े तो मैं
You might
घंटे
say,
की-
well, I need to wear a watch so I
हम
know
लोग
the
सभी
time.
को कहते हैं, चलो देखो होम्योपैथिक दवाई होती है ना,
I say, well,
वो
you know, the
घंटे घंटे लेनी
homeopathic
पड़ती है,
medicine, you have to take it every hour.
फिर डॉक्टर हमको कहता है हर घंटे आपको गोली लेनी है,
And the doctor
तो
tells
घड़ी
us
पहनते हैं क्या?
every hour you have to take the medicine. So do we take a medicine for that? I mean,
बीमारी
sorry,
के
do we wear
कारण
the
याद
watch
आता है
for that?
घंटा हो गया,
No,
चलो
we just
2, 5, 10
automatically
मिनट
remember.
पीछे ऊपर हुआ,
Okay, we
उसके बाद
might be
जो
5 or 10 minutes out, but we don't need to
घड़ी
wear a
थोड़ी
watch
पहनते।
to take the medicine.
जब शरीर के बीमारी के लिए हमको
And so
नेचुरली याद आ जाती
if
है,
for the sickness of the body, in order
तो
to
मन
heal the
की
body,
बीमारी
we
को ठीक
remember
करने के लिए
naturally we
याद
have to
आता
take
है।
the medicine, then
और अभी
can we
भी
not
देखो कई
remember
लोग
naturally
हैं
to remove the
जो
sickness of the
कहते हैं
soul?
सुबह को 3:30 बजता है जैसे कोई हमारी खटिया आके हिलाता है,
Some say that at 3:30 somebody comes to shake my
आँख
bed
खुल जाती है,
and I open my eyes wide.
ऑटोमेटिक खुल जाती है।
It's automatic.
तो जैसे वो आदत पड़ गई,
So just as
वैसे ये भी
that's
तो
become a
हो सकती
habit,
है।
then this should also become a habit
तो बीच
to
बीच
check
में
every hour.
कर्म कॉन्शियस तो नहीं बन गई,
So check in
Action
between. I've
conscious.
not become action conscious, have I?
सचमुच मैं सोल कॉन्शियस स्टेज में हूँ।
Am I truly in
सोल
the soul
कॉन्शियस होंगे
conscious
तो
stage?
सुप्रीम सोल कॉन्शियस तो ऑटोमेटिक है,
If I'm soul conscious, then
क्योंकि
I will
आत्मा का और
automatically be
किसी का
in
नीचे
supreme
नहीं
soul
सिवाय बाप
consciousness. Because the soul has
ना
actually
उसको
no other
पता
connection with
चाहिए,
anything
ना
else,
संबंध
anyone
चाहिए,
else
सब
except
एक
the
ही
supreme.
परमात्मा बाप है,
The soul
बस।
doesn't need anything physical or
तो
even the
आत्माभिमानी की
physical
स्टेज जो
facilities.
है ना,
It
वो
just needs the
अपने
one
को
supreme
बहुत
soul.
पक्की चाहिए,
So this consciousness, this awareness
तभी
needs to be
अंत
very
में हम
strong.
पास with honor
Then
हो
at the
सकते
end
हैं,
I can
नहीं
pass
तो
with
उस समय
honors.
बहुत हालतें अति में होंगी,
Because at the
अति
end,
के बाद ही तो हम
everything, the
पाएंगे
situation
ना।
will be in total
तो
extreme.
अति के समय
And so at that time of extremity,
हमको ये याद आवे,
I
इमर्ज
should
रूप में तो मैं
remember
आत्मा
in an
मालिक हूँ,
emerged
मन
form
को
that I,
जहाँ
the soul,
चाहूँ,
am
जितना
a
समय
master,
चाहूँ,
that I can
उतना
stabilize
समय
my
वहीं
mind
स्थित कर
wherever I
सकती
want, however
हूँ।
long
ये
I
है
want.
हमारी स्टेज,
This is the stage I
इसको ही
need to have.
फरिश्तापन कहा
This
जाता
is what is known to have the angelic
है।
form.
जो बाबा कहते ना शंकर वगैरह कुछ नहीं है, शंकर
Baba
को
says there is no
अशरीरी
Shankar
दिखाते हैं,
or anything like that.
वस्त्र नहीं दिखाते हैं उसको,
They show Shankar
ईश्वर रूपी
actually
वस्त्र
as
अशरीरी
the
स्थिति
bodiless
जिसको
one,
बोलते
not
हैं
as a
तपस्या,
corporeal one.
वो इसीलिए वो चित्र
This is why they show this picture, because as you have yoga, as you sit in
तो
tapasya,
ऐसी
you become
स्टेज हमारी
bodiless.
है,
Shankar is the bodiless one. And so
इस अभ्यास को जरूर चेक करो,
we need to check
बीच
this
बीच में
practice,
चेक करो,
check in between as much as
आत्मा
possible.
मालिक हूँ,
Am I the soul, the master?
आत्मा मालिक बन करके इन कर्म इंद्रियों को चला
Am
रही
I the
हूँ,
soul as a master using this
कर्म
body
इंद्रियां
and the
कहाँ
sense
धोखा नहीं
organs?
देती,
The sense organs aren't
और
deceiving me, are
कर्म
they?
इंद्रियों को आदत पड़ गई धोखा देने
In
की,
fact, the sense organs have become accustomed to
धोखा
deceiving
देती
me,
रहेंगी,
and so they will
क्योंकि
continue
विचार
to
और माया है
deceiving me.
बीच में।
Yes, they're very clever because Maya is also in
तो
between.
बाबा कहता है
And
अपनी
so Baba
चेकिंग
says,
आप करो,
you do your own checking.
दूसरा कुछ नहीं करेगा, दूसरा आपको उमंग
Nobody
उत्साह दिला
else
सकता
can
है,
do it
बस।
for you. Others can only
जैसे
inspire
दादी
you
जान की क्लास
and give you
कराती है,
enthusiasm,
तो
like
हम
Dadi
उत्साह में
Janki
आ जाते
gives you
हैं।
class and you become
ये
enthusiastic.
मदद कोई भी कर सकता
Yes,
है आपकी,
anybody can help you in
लेकिन
this
माइंड
regard,
कंट्रोल
but
अपने आप को
you
खुद
have
ही
to
करना
control
पड़ेगा,
your own mind.
वो दूसरा नहीं कर सकता,
No one else can do this for you.
और अपनी चेकिंग आप भी कर सकते
And only
हो,
you can
क्योंकि
do
मन की
your
थॉट
own
रीडर थोड़ी है कोई जो आपके
because no one can
मन को
read your
देख के
thoughts,
एंट्री करेगा
that
क्या,
they can sit and
बैठे
check
हैं योग में कोई
what
थॉट
thoughts
रीडर
are you
एंट्री
having.
करेगा क्या,
Even as you sit in yoga, can anybody check your thoughts? No.
आप योग लगा रही हो या युद्ध कर रही हो, वो खुद ही
Nobody.
देखना है। सारे
You
दिन
have to
मेरा
see
चार रातों
to what
में
extent am I having yoga or to what extent am I battling. Check your chart. Am I soul conscious or action conscious or supreme conscious? Only I can do this type of checking. Baba also gave us one caution.
समझो आप चेकिंग करने शुरू करते हो कल
Don't
से,
just check. Okay, tomorrow you might start checking.
लेकिन समझो आप देखती हो सारे दिन में मैंने चेक किया,
You might say,
ज़्यादा तो एक्शन
yeah, all day I checked myself and I was action conscious. I wasn't so soul conscious or supreme conscious. Yes, you might observe this for 4 or 5 days, and then you become disheartened and you'll say, well, maybe this is not in my fortune. Well, there's not been so much change over the last 4 or 5 days. So Baba always used to say, check but also change. Don't just keep checking. If you keep checking, you'll become very disheartened and hopeless.
Soul conscious, action conscious से भी गए, body conscious ही हो जाए.
Otherwise you'll go back to body consciousness, not even action consciousness.
अच्छा, उमंग उत्साह रखो.
Okay, so keep enthusiasm, zeal and enthusiasm. You might be weak. You might say, okay, I don't have the power of tolerance. I don't have the power to face. This is why I always get defeated. But
आप सब कहते हैं शिव बाबा हमारे combined है.
But we all say that Shiv Baba is in combined form with us, is he not? Raise your hands if you think he's in combined form. He's combined, is he not? Not just even together, but combined. The first line is not raising their hands. The second line, sorry, she's saying. And so if Shiv Baba is combined, okay, say I'm a bit sick today. I cannot get up to lift a cup to drink some water. But say somebody very courageous is sitting with me. What will I do? Okay, I cannot get up to lift the glass to drink, but I will think, okay, this courageous one is sitting and they will get it for me. We have this feeling, don't we, that yes, somebody is with me. And so Baba says, when you say, I am combined, and if Baba is sitting beside me, then why don't I take his help? I should take his help, shouldn't I? Baba is not lacking in the power of tolerance or lacking in the power to face. So take power from Baba. Baba is obligated in a combined form to help me. Why has he come? Each one says, my Baba. No one says he's the Baba of the Dadis or Baba of somebody else. You all say my Baba, don't you? And so when I say mine, then I have a right on that one. I say, okay, this is my handkerchief. So I have a right over this. Do I not? And so he is mine. If I say my Baba, then I have complete right over Baba. And Baba says, well, I have come in actual fact to help you. So I may be weak, but combined with me is Baba, the Almighty Authority. So why do I not take power from him? Why don't I bring this into my awareness that Baba is with me? So nothing is a big deal. If a woman is weak and timid, and there is a strong officer with him, will she be afraid? She'll say, no, don't let anyone come in front of me, she will say. And so Baba is in a combined form with me. And so let me emerge this awareness. And then I will never be weak. And Baba also complains that the children keep saying, you are combined, but they don't take my help. I tell the children, give me your burdens. They give it to me, but then they take it back. One day they'll give it to Baba, and then the next day they'll put it back on their head again. So we are not taking Baba's help. We should, shouldn't we?
तो बाबा मेरे combined है.
So Baba is
ये
combined with
समझ के
me.
भी emerge हो.
Let this
मर्ज
awareness
नहीं
be
है ना, बाबा
emerged.
मेरा तो है ही ना.
Baba is
मेरा
mine,
है
is he
लेकिन
not?
अधिकार है ही नहीं.
If I say he's
बाबा ने तो
mine
एक
and
मुरली
I
में कहा,
don't have
मैंने
rights,
सभी
Baba
बच्चों
said in
को
one
प्रेम
Murli,
की रस्सी दे दी.
Baba said in one Murli, I've given
प्रेम की
everyone
रस्सी दी
the
है.
string of
बांधो
love.
मेरे को.
So tie me
क्यों
in
नहीं बांधते
that
हो?
bondage of love. Why
अच्छी
don't you
तरह
tie
से
me
बांध
down?
लो,
Tie it strongly
जो अलग हो ही नहीं
so
सके.
that you cannot be separated ever.
प्रेम की रस्सी तो है ना.
You have the string of
कि
love,
नहीं
do you
है?
not? Do you not?
किसको नहीं हो तो ले लो.
If you don't, then take it now.
प्रेम की रस्सी बाबा ने दी है.
Baba's given us the
उससे
string
बांधो
of love.
भगवान को.
So tie God
भगवान
to
भोला
you.
है, बंध जाता है.
God is innocent. He will be tied easily.
वो चंचल नहीं है
He
जो
is not
रस्सी
mischievous,
तोड़ के चला जाए.
that he will break the string and go away from you, run away from you.
भोला भगवान.
He is the innocent Lord.
तो प्यार के रस्सी से बाबा के ऊपर अधिकार रखो.
And so with love, have a right on Baba. Tie Baba down with that string of love. Baba is mine and he's come for me.
हर एक को बाबा कहते तुम्हारे लिए आया.
Each one would say,
बच्ची तुमने याद किया ना, तुम्हारे लिए.
Baba would say for each one that, child, you have called me, therefore I've come for you. So if Baba has come for me, so then why don't I have all rights over him?
तो इसी रीति से हमको
So in this way,
अपने आप को चेक करना है.
I have to check myself.
बाबा की मदद लेनी है.
I have to take Baba's help.
अगर मैं कमजोर होती हूँ,
If I do become
बाबा
weak,
शक्ति दे ही रहा है,
then
और वो शक्ति
otherwise
मैं ले
Baba
गई.
is giving me the power.
मास्टर सर्वशक्ति
And if I'm
वाले
taking
आगे
that
कुछ भी
power,
कमजोर नहीं.
then no weakness can remain in front of the Almighty Authority.
दाता तो दे ही रहा है.
The bestower is giving anyway,
और दाता के पास कोई कमी नहीं
and
है.
there's nothing
एक
lacking
ही समय 100 जनों को
in the
भी
treasure
मदद दे
store
सकता
of the bestower. He can give 100 people
है. बंधन में नहीं
help
है.
at the same
शरीर के
time
बंधन
because
में
he's not in the corporeal, he's not bound by the physical world.
नहीं. इसीलिए
This is why
बाबा कहता है,
Baba says,
मेरा मेरा कहते हो तो
you
मेरे
say
को
mine,
आदि तो
mine,
उठाओ ना.
so take benefit of saying mine.
डबल फॉरेनर्स तो डबल लाभ लेने वाले हैं ना.
So double foreigners can take double benefit, so take the double benefit.
फ्री है.
You are free.
अगर आप डबल लो तो हमको खुशी है.
If you take double, then we are very happy. Yes, you first.
तो अपनी चेकिंग करो.
And so
change
check
करो.
yourself, change yourself.
मैं आत्मा मालिक हूँ.
I, the soul, am the master.
कर्म इंद्रियां कंट्रोल में है. बाबा ने कहा.
Baba
एक
said,
बच्चे ने बाबा से पूछा, बाबा
are your
मुझे बता दो,
sense organs in your
मेरा
control?
गुजारा ठीक है?
Once a child asked Baba, is my effort okay? Will I become a king
नहीं बनूंगा,
or
बता
not?
दो.
You tell me, what am I going to become?
बाबा ने कहा, मैंने तुमको
Baba
आईना
said,
सभी को दे
I've
दिया,
given
अपनी
all of
दिखला
you
के ही देखो.
a mirror, and so look at your own face within that mirror. What is the mirror?
पता है?
Do you know?
आपके पास है आईना?
Do you have that mirror?
या रखा हुआ भूल गया हो?
Or you've got it, but you've forgotten about it?
आईना है. बाबा
The
कहता
mirror
है,
is-
अभी जो हमने तुमको स्वराज अधिकारी बनाया है ना,
The mirror is that I've
अभी
made
तो
you
हम
now
स्वराज अधिकारी
a
है ना,
self-sovereign.
स्व का राज.
I've given you the
राजा है ना.
knowledge that you, the soul, are the
कर्म
master,
इंद्रियों का राजा है.
the
स्वराज
king,
बाबा ने अभी दिया
the
है.
king of this kingdom, the self-sovereignty.
तो बाबा ने कहा,
And then
मैंने
later we will
आईना
get
दिया
that
है
sovereignty.
आपको practical
So Baba
life
said
स्वराज अधिकारी बनकर.
that I've given you the mirror to become a
इस आईने में
practical
आप
self-sovereign now. And so look at
मैं
yourself
स्वराज
within that
अधिकारी
mirror.
कितने तक बना.
To what extent am I truly a self-sovereign?
अभी भी हमको कोई न कोई कर्म इंद्री धोखा देती है.
Say, for example, one sense organ deceives
तो
me.
बाबा ने कहा,
Then Baba
जो
said,
सेल्फ को कंट्रोल नहीं कर
if
सकता,
if oneself
तो
cannot
विश्व का
control
राज कैसे कंट्रोल
themselves, then how can they
करेगा?
control
अपने से एक person
or
पूछो,
rule over the world? Ask yourself this
जो
question.
स्व पर नहीं कर सकता
If
वो
one
विश्व
cannot
पर
rule
कैसे राज
over the self, how can they rule the
चेक
world?
करो आईने में देखो
Check yourself
मैं
in this
विश्व
mirror.
राजा बनूंगा
Will I
रॉयल
become?
प्रजा बन और रॉयल फैमिली
Will I
बनूंगा
become a royal
रॉयल
king, royal
प्रजा
subject,
बनूंगा
royal,
साधारण प्रजा बनूंगा
just a royal
इसे
prince,
देखो
or just an
आईने में
ordinary
अपनी चीज
subject? Just check yourself in the mirror.
स्वराज अधिकार का आईना मैंने सभी को
Baba
बाबा जी का
says,
दे
I've
दिया
given each one the
है आपके
mirror
पास
of the
है ना
self-sovereignty. So you have this, do you not?
उसमें चेक करो
So check yourself.
अगर धोखा की आदत पड़ जाएंगी ना
If
फिर
you
समय पर भी
become
धोखा
habitual to being deceived, then at
इसीलिए बाबा
that
कहते हैं
time, at
अभी
the end,
से
you will also be deceived.
कोई भी कर्म इंद्रिया धोखा नहीं दे
That's why Baba says, let no sense organ deceive you
उसकी
now.
विधि बस सिर्फ आत्म अभिमानी
For
बन
this, the method is just simply soul consciousness.
स्वराज अधिकार अपना इमर्ज रूप में
So have this right of self-sovereignty in an emerged form.
तो कोई बड़ी बात
And
नहीं
then
है
the
बाबा
future
तो कहते हैं
sovereignty
जैसे
is no
परछाई
big deal.
धूप में चलती है ना
As Baba said, that's like a
धूप
shadow.
में परछाई के पीछे जो
Just as you
पड़ेंगे
walk in
ना
the sun, there's
तो
a shadow.
परछाई आगे आगे जाती रहेंगी
If you walk in
और
the
परछाई को
sun,
पीछ दे दो तो हमारे पीछे पीछे आए
if you walk towards the sun, the shadows,
तो भविष्य तो आपका परछाई है
if you walk
वो तो
towards the sun, the
मिलेगी
shadows behind you, but if you
लेकिन
walk
अब भी
away,
चेक
then the
करो
shadows,
आप
well, you
स्वराज
understand what I
अधिकारी
mean.
हो या नहीं
So that's what Baba's saying, just check
अगर
to see,
स्वराज अधिकारी हो
as you progress towards
विश्वराज
the
आपका
self-sovereignty,
जन्म सिद्ध अधिकार
you will claim the right to the future automatically.
क्वेश्चन ही नहीं है
It's not a question mark.
मिलेगा नहीं मिलेगा
Will I get it or
मैं
not?
ये बनूंगा
Will I
नहीं
become this
बनूंगा
or not?
क्वेश्चन ही नहीं है
It's not a
गारंटी
question,
है
it's a guarantee.
तो इसीलिए
So,
वर्तमान समय
according to the
बाबा
present time,
इशारा दे रहा है
Baba is giving us a signal.
चेकिंग और चेंज
Check and
अपने
change.
को चेक करो दूसरे को नहीं चेक करो
Check the self,
एक
don't
बारी
change
बाबा ने
others.
हंसी में कहा मैं कहता हूँ अपने को चेक करो
Once Baba
स्वदर्शन
was
चक्रधारी
being
बनो
humorous and
लेकिन
Baba said, you
बनते हैं
check yourself.
परदर्शन चक्रधारी
But the children
दूसरे की
become
गलतियां
the
देखते हैं
spinners of the discus of
बाबा ने
others,
कहा
not the
मैंने
spinners
जज
of
की
the discus
कुर्सी
of
किसको
the
नहीं दी
self.
है
Baba said, I've not given anyone
और
the
आप
seat
भी
of
कुर्सी
being a
लेके
judge,
जज की
but they
जज
just
करके
become the
देखेंगे
judge
ऐसा क्यों करता है
and
ये
they
ऐसा
say,
क्यों
why is
करता
this one
है
doing
ये
this?
ऐसे
Why is
क्यों
that one
बोलता है
doing
ये
that?
होना नहीं
Why is
चाहिए
that happening? That
इसलिए
shouldn't
आपको
happen.
जज की कुर्सी
Who
दी
has given you the seat of being a
पहले
judge?
सेल्फ जज तो करो
First judge the self.
जज की कुर्सी बाबा कहते हैं किसने मैंने किसी
Baba
को
says, I've not given anybody the seat of being a
कुर्सी पर
judge
बैठ
and
जाते हो
making a
बाबा
judgment. They themselves sit and
और
become
हैरान
the
भी
judge.
होते हो
And also they harass themselves in
अगर
this way.
परदर्शन होता है
If one
तो
thinks
व्यर्थ
of others,
चिंतन कितना चलता है
if one is looking at others and thinking of others, then so much
अपने शरीर
waste
पर भी असर आता
thinking
है जिसका
occurs.
परचिंतन
And
चलता
then there's
है
an effect on the
उसके
body as
शरीर में
well.
भी ताकत कम हो
And
जाती
then the body becomes weak as
है
well.
दिमाग कमजोर हो जाता है ना
Because as the head becomes weak,
इसीलिए
so
सेल्फ
too it
का
has an
जज
effect on the
बनना
body. So first,
दूसरे का जज नहीं बनना
be a judge
परदर्शन
of
नहीं
the self. Don't think of what
बाबा
others are
ने एक
doing.
बारी कहा
Don't
था
spin that discus.
3 पर कट करना है
Baba
और
said we have
एक
to
पर
cut
बने रखना
3
वो
pars.
3 पर
She's
कौन
going
सी
to
है
explain. So one is
हाँ? परचिंतन
parchintan, that means to be thinking about
परदर्शन
others. Pardarshan, to be looking at others. Parmat,
ये
the
3 पर कट करो
directions of others, what
और
others are
एक
saying.
पर रखो पर उपकार
But no, Baba said just keep 1 par, which is to have mercy on
तो
others.
3 को कट करके एक
So
पर
cut the
उपकार
3
रखेंगे
and
तो
just
पास with honor हो जाएंगे
become the merciful one. Then you will pass with
अगर
honors.
3 पर में से कोई भी एक पर है
If out of those 3 I still have 1, I'm looking or thinking
तो
or
फिर पास
talking
with honor नहीं
about others, then I can't pass with honors.
क्योंकि बाबा की श्रीमत मानी नहीं ना,
because I did not listen to Baba's
तो
Srimad.
श्रीमत को जो नहीं मानेगा
So the
वो
one
कैसे
who
फल
doesn't
पहुंचाना?
listen to Srimad, the
इसलिए
elevated directions, then
स्वचिंतन,
how can they pass?
स्वदर्शन,
So Swachintan, think of the
श्रीमत,
self. Swadarshan, look at the self. And Srimat,
ये
to
स्मृति
follow
में
the
अगर
directions of the
रहेगा
Supreme.
तो हमारी स्टेज जो रहेंगी
And
वो
so
बहुत अच्छी,
then my stage will be very good.
ठीक है?
Is this okay?
ओम शांति।
Om Shanti.
ओम शांति। हम सब डबल विदेशियों की